Welcome. It's Kimberly Sherry, International Energy Healer, helping you lead a life of wealth without worry. Today I wanted to talk about vibrant health. I think it's mostly because I see so many people that I know and just sort of people in general. My age, I'll say my age because I'm actually pretty proud of it. I'm 63, and so I am very vibrantly healthy, and so I wanted to share some of the secrets about how I'm able to stay so healthy and vibrant, and also share some things that maybe you didn't know about health. So most people already know about, eating well, sleeping well, getting exercise, all those kinds of things. Hey, Julia. All those kinds of things, which are, of course, all very important, and we could write volumes on that. And so I want to talk about three main things today in regards to health. So one is about food, one is about stress, and the other is about your mindset. Hey, Adriana, or Andrea, sorry, from Switzerland. Great having you here. And Raz, nice. So about vibrant health. So one of the things that most people know about already is a great contributor to your health is what you eat. We become what we eat. And a really important thing about eating, hey Kimberly, is to make sure that the foods you eat have a very high vibration. So there's lots of ways that you can check this. Some people will muscle test. Some people will hold a bottle of vitamins or a food or something like that close to them, and if they move towards it, it's good. If they move far away from it, then not so good. I will either count, which is how I do everything. I count to see what the vibration is, or I'll muscle test. So I use my arm out like this. That's how I like to muscle test, and it just helps to kind of give me a backup to confirm what it is I'm checking. So I know in the past I mentioned that coffee had a low vibration. Hey Malcolm. And Angela, great. And one of the things that I discovered about that is that not all coffees are created equal. So hey Bobby. So really important to check all the foods that we eat. So so coffee is not necessarily a bad thing. So make sure that you muscle test for the specific coffee that you're drinking. Same thing with wines and other things that some people think are bad for you. Muscle test, because really it's all about what's good for you, what's best for you. And even things like taking vitamins, some people will take a multiple vitamin and figure, oh, they got it covered. Well, we're not cookie cutters, and so I'll never take a one-a-day multiple vitamin because there's so many things in there that maybe I don't resonate with or I don't need. And so I used to take a lot of vitamins, and now I only take the ones that my body needs. So I have a way of being able to measure lots of things, as you know. So one of the things I've been measuring recently is the health of our bones. So just a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not prescribing anything, I'm not diagnosing anything. But I do know that I have a gift of being able to measure different body systems and the health of our organs, etc. So one of the things that, and as a matter of fact, I'll just share a quick experience that just came to mind about how I helped myself resolve a bladder and kidney issue. So at one point I had kidney infection, and I used to have chronic bladder infections, and a lot of you women out there have that experience. So at any rate, I finally decided, once I learned how to measure measure things, is that I decided to measure the health of my bladder before I took the antibiotics. So the numbers were very low. Then I took the antibiotic and I watched the numbers increase until I finished the dose, and of course it was at full capacity. It was at 100%, fully healthy. Then in the days to follow, I watched the numbers start to decrease again. Only this time I did something different. So I started to evaluate and find out what it was that was bringing the health of those kidneys or the bladder down. And I just made sure that I kept the vibrational frequency of that bladder really high, because I know that bacteria and viruses cannot thrive, hey Candace, cannot thrive in a high vibrational environment. So super healthy, super important to keep all of our cells in a really high vibration. So this is what I did with the bladder, and then I kept it at that high vibration, knowing that infection never came back. So for a while I did experience cloudy urine, but I didn't have any other symptoms. And eventually that went away, so I have no issues with my bladder. I have no issues with anything. So getting back to different things that I can measure. So one of the things I've been doing is measuring bone health. And so if you have really healthy bones, your bones are going to be at 100%. And so I measured my bones and I discovered they were at 95%. I had been taking a supplement, one very specific because I know it's scientifically backed. It's by Nikken. I can share the link if you're interested. But I did this with my sister, and I've been doing this with other clients to measure the health of their bones. Now my sister was at 50%. And she told me she had just gone to the doctor and they discovered she had osteoporosis, but she didn't want to go the conventional route. So I'm more about, supplementing the bone health instead of taking drugs that are supposed to somehow work, but they often don't. And then they create other symptoms. They create other problems. So, as she's been taking this bone supplement, I've been tracking her numbers. And last I checked, she was up to 90%. Let's see where she is now. 95%. So great. So she's only been taking this maybe a month, or maybe a month. So anyway, this is another way that you can evaluate. Hey, Bradford. Evaluate your health and the different body organs, body systems, and keeping them at that high vibration is going to keep them in their best possible health. So if you're experiencing any kind of physical problems, ailments, of course, work with your doctor and get some energetic help and address it from both ends. As I'm not an advocate for using energy work to replace medicine. I think they work really well in harmony together. So it can help ease your mind. Like you can have tests run by the doctors, and then you know exactly where you're at. But I also know that your physical health or dis-ease is going to show up in your energy field long before you're going to find any symptoms. So two other things. One is stress. We all know that stress kills. And there's a very specific body vibration that I can measure. Like I can measure the amount of tension your body is holding. And so when we're holding stress in our bodies, that's affecting all the cells in our body, all the molecules, all the atoms in our body. And so that's going to affect the ways that our cells replicate. So really, there's a really important part of replicating cells that happens in the body. It's another thing that I've discovered I can measure, which is your telomeres. So your telomeres, as we age, they get shorter and shorter. And what the telomeres do is they help replicate your cells exactly. But if they're getting shorter and shorter and the telomeres are not functioning at full capacity, your cells are not going to replicate exactly. And this is how our health declines. This is why we start to age and our vibrancy diminishes. So this is another number that I can track. We can raise that number, and then you can know that your body is in the healthiest way possible, replicating cells in a really healthy way. A really big factor that affects our stress in our bodies and this is one that no one's talking about, is the 1%. So this is another thing that I measure, how much they're influencing our energy field, how much they're influencing how we think, which is what I'm going to talk about next. One of their favorite places that they like to influence is our root chakra, right at the base of our spine. So that root is responsible for our health, for our wellness, for our vibrancy. That root chakra is also important for our feeling safe in our bodies, feeling safe on the planet. And hey, Bess, and so that root chakra also feeds into, just a quick little anatomy thing, energetic anatomy, is that each of our chakras feeds into a layer of our aura. So we have 7 body chakras that correspond to 7 layers of our aura. So we don't end at our skin. It's like we're wrapped in a big cocoon with layers to that. And so that root chakra feeds into that first layer that's closest to the skin. So that's why it affects our physical health so much, and why it's really important to keep our root chakra clear and flowing, keeping that worry circle that radiates out around the root chakra, keeping that really clear. And this is why the 1% loves to attack or influence that root chakra, because they know that that's the foundation for everything above it. They know that's the foundation for our whole body, for our whole health and wellness. So really critical to make sure that, so this is what I'm a big advocate for, to be able to have radiant health and vibrant well-being in our bodies, is to make sure that you run your energy on a daily basis. I'll add a link to this so that you can have access to some free meditations, just so you can get an idea of the system that I use. I'm calling it the Infinity System. It's a specific way of running your energy through the body so that all of your systems are clear, and especially that root chakra. So pulling in that worry circle is going to help eliminate a lot of the stress that you physically feel in your body, because that corresponds to that closest layer to the skin. So making sure that we have that 1% out of our energy field, not influencing us, is going to be a big factor, because their main goal is to keep us pushed down, to keep us in that energy of slavery and working really hard and struggling and suffering. That 1% and the reptilian energy, which is over them, they feed on these lower vibrations of energy. They feed on our worry, our fear, our anxiety, any stress in the body. They love that. If we're angry, all of those low vibrational things is what they strive to create every day so that they can feed themselves. So make sure that you run your energy, keeping it at a super high vibration. And the last thing that I want to talk about was about our mindset. So we all know, or I'll say that the people that generally watch me know, that it's our mind, the things that we think on a daily basis, which are mostly the same thing we thought about yesterday, because it's 95% in our subconscious. It's our mind that's going to create our world, our reality, including our physical health. What's going on in our body is a reflection of many of the thoughts that we're thinking on a daily basis. Cancer is a result of cancerous thinking, cancerous thoughts. And so it's super important to keep track of the kinds of things that we're thinking. If we're stuck in worry, clear your root chakra, get rid of that stress. And so it's kind of twofold. One is we need to eliminate all of those low vibrational things, whether it's low vibrational food, low vibrational people, low vibrational environments, that 1% super low vibration, all of the things that bring our vibration down, we need to eliminate those, and then surround ourselves with things that are going to increase and amplify and sustain our high vibration. the kind of people that we surround ourselves, the thoughts that we're thinking. Now, you can easily change your thoughts by listening to music. You know, put on a headset if you're feeling kind of funky. After you've run your energy or while you're running your energy, listen to some music that's inspiring, uplifting. Get out in nature. One of my favorite things is I love hiking, getting out in that high vibration of nature, which is going to help amplify how you're feeling. And you just can't help but not be in a high vibration and in a joyful state on a good hike. That's what I wanted to talk about today, because I know so many people are struggling with their health right now, and they're and even not so much their health, but just I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just lucky, which I know is when opportunity meets preparation. I've been really focused on my health and wellness probably since I was 19 or 20. And so maybe that's part of it. I know my mom had really good genes. She just passed away. She was 94. And hey, Alan. And but my dad, so I got like a half and half. My dad was not healthy. He drank, he smoked. He was Scotch-Irish. He didn't have those good, healthy, youthful genes. My mom was half Filipino and half from South America. Anyway, so I do have some good genes on my side, but I also know that the rest of my family may be not so healthy. So it's not all in the genes. It has a lot to do with the thoughts you're thinking, high vibration, foods you eat, environment you surround yourself with. So make sure that you focus on that. And if you are struggling with your health right now, if you have some major health issues and you're working with a doctor, I would prefer that. Private message me if you'd like some help. And I know that I can help you with this by measuring your vibrational health of whatever it is you're dealing with, and get to the root of what's creating these things. The body has an amazing capacity to heal itself, to regenerate itself, but we just need to give it the things that that can help sustain that. So I'm also thinking about a couple of the things that I do for my health and wellness. I think it's important that if you're going to take supplements, or that you one is you muscle test to see if you should even be taking that. But I like to focus on things that are going to help, hey Walter, help your whole body, the whole body system. So one of the things that I do is I drink this specific water that's called ASEA, ASEA. And it's a redox signaling molecule activator. So what that means is that it helps your molecules communicate better to each other, which is a whole body thing. You know, we have our atoms, and then we have the molecules, and the molecules create body tissues, which create organs and body systems. And so it really starts at that beginning place, having healthy molecules. And water, we're more than 70% water, depending on your physiology, but water is a huge part of having a healthy, I'll send the link to the ASEA water. I'll send the link to the calcium that I also use with Nikken. And then one other thing that I do is, we all know about CBD, hemp oil. This is another product that I take for focused clarity. So CBD has nothing in it that can make you high if you're worried about that. And it's specifically designed, the one that I take is much more scientifically formulated. So it uses nanotechnology, so it's going to get into the cells and activate those molecules in a much more efficient way. And the way it works is it more gets into your system quicker, so that it activates different things, unlocks things, makes things happen. I don't know all the scientific stuff to it, but that normally wouldn't happen with some of the other CBD products. So I really love this product, and it's really backed by a lot of science, and so it's a really, really good product by Prime My Body. So I'll put the link for that too if you're also interested. But that treats the body and affects the body, the whole body, which is really important for health. Is if you're going to take things, instead of taking a million vitamins, is take a few things that are going to help your whole body system function in its best possible way. This is how powerful your mind is. You can just think about a product, you can think about a person, you can think about anything. That's how much our mind affects our body. Just think about it and muscle test it. Think about white sugar as you're testing, because you need to test your yes and no. Do you even know how to get a yes or no? And so a good one to test is with white sugar. You can either hold a packet of white sugar in your hand, muscle test it, it will go weak, or you can just think about it. That's how strong your mind is. So test for these things before you waste a bunch of money on products and supplements that your body may not need. In fact, it may be creating weakness in your body instead of what you're trying to do, which is get healthier. So those are all my tips for today, and I'll be including a lot of this kind of stuff in my book, which Access Your Ultimate Power, the Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. I'll be covering body health in there as well. And I foresee a whole book on that in addition. So I've got my work cut out for me. But get out and enjoy this weekend, and I'll post those links. And until we meet again, keep asking my favorite question, because it has a high vibration. My favorite question is, how does it get any better than this? Stay in that blissful question of, I wonder. Have a great weekend, friends. Much love. Namaste.